सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रीविद्योपासनासक्तं श्रीविद्यापीठभूषणं श्रीविद्याभिनवं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णानन्दसद्गुरुम्। श्रीविद्यापाठम् सदा। Today we shall be looking at the concluding verses of the Bhaja Govindam, and it is traditionally these 4 verses is traditionally attributed to Bhagavan Shankara himself. It is said that after listening to his own disciples, Sri Yogananda, Sri Hastamalkacharya, Sri Padmapacharya, Sureshwaracharya has also written a verse, Sri Sumati, all of them have contributed and maybe inspired and happy to hear these verses. Bhagavan himself offered 4 verses. These 4 verses are as though emphasizing, it is emphasizing as well as encapsulating the entire Vedantic philosophy, the entire understanding of our dharma. Beautiful encapsulation. Once when Swami Chinmayananda was asked by a devotee, actually the scene was that this devotee had come to send off Puja Gurudev in a station and the train was about to start. This was the time, and this is not really truly appropriate. We must know when to ask our acharyas, our gurus, questions. We must know the appropriate time, the mood. No, there are so many things that play. Just to get we are definitely eager to get answers to our questions, but there is an appropriate time and place for everything. Very often, disciples, students, they don't know this. Likewise, this eager devotee posed a question to Swami Chinmayananda. Swamiji, what is Hinduism in short? Now imagine asking such a question when the train is about to start and there will be so many probably other things that one has to think about. Practical questions, issues will be there. But then this devotee, eager, not an appropriate time for such a question at all. Yet, Gurudev being Gurudev, master, wanted to give him an appropriate answer. So he says, detaching from the lower self and attaching to the higher self is Hinduism. I mean, imagine the situation. In that, how else and what else can one tell? So this was in a very capsule form, the entire Hindu philosophy, our culture. We are a culture where we seek the higher and the nobler all the time. This is a land of seekers. And Gurudev very well spoke about the Hindu dharma this way. Acknowledging that there is a lower self in each one of us, that each one had to detach from the lower and attach to the higher until the journey, I mean, this is the journey. Imagine being in the railway station, how appropriate also he used these terms to detach from the lower, attach to the higher, and reach your goal destination. Destination is to remain in your true self. This beautiful sentiment is very nicely spoken of by Bhagavan Adi Shankara also in these last 4 verses, where, you know, it is only here in the Eastern philosophy and in our dharma, which is like memorial. It is like we do not know where it has started. There is no memory of it. I mean, it has always been there. As far as memory goes, it is there. So that's why it's called eternal. This dharma is called Sanatana, because from the time there is a human thought, there is this idea available to us. There was never a time that this sentiment, this idea was not available, that we had to seek, evolve into our higher self, and that there is this higher self. Bhagavan Krishna says in the Gita, I gave it to whom? None other than Surya Bhagavan. And we know that this planet wouldn't have come to being. Life on this planet is not possible if Surya Bhagavan was not there. So Surya Bhagavan already has this jnana, and from that time has been transmitting, delivering it to whoever sought. So whatever it is that is seen through the senses, that is known through the mind, and what we long for, our pursuits, if they follow the senses and the mind, which are external to us, which go away from us, and seek something from there, we consider it to belong to the lower self. The lower self is the ego self. The ego self is nothing else but a bundle of thoughts which are attached to this ego thought, I thought, that attaches itself to the body, mind, and intellect. It derives its existence, it derives its sense from attaching and identifying itself to whatever is tangible, seen, known. So the body, mind, and intellect, it identifies with these. It is a flow of thought based on this ego thought, which is a mere assumption. This identity with body, mind, and intellect is an assumed identity. This assumed identity is quite natural and effortless. None of us go to any school or university or Gurukulam to understand or to assume an identity. It is sahaja. As we are born, it accumulates, it begins to be there. But this is because we are in ignorance of our true nature. So the whole goal, as Shastras and masters tell us, our Rishi Munis, who have done enough contemplation and meditation on this, and have come to realize that what we consider this way, this assumed ego, there is no reality to it because it keeps changing from time to time. And if you look deeper, you definitely come to recognize that which is permanent, that which is changeless. And each one of us actually comes from there only. That is the very basis, foundation of every creation. That being our higher self. You can call it the higher self, you can call it God, you can call it the divine. So the whole journey is of, or the whole purpose, as they tell us, of this human birth is to be able to recognize this. Once recognized and living as that being, all our miseries and sufferings come to an end. Because this misery and suffering are also illusory. How can they be illusory? Because they are dependent on this ego self, which itself is an illusion. So this is the Advaitic thought. This is, why do we call it Advaita? Because it is without another. It speaks of existence, existence that is conscious and in a state of utter balance, blissful in itself. This being our true nature, and that alone is there. And so there is no question of even it being separate. There is no question of separateness or otherness. Once we come to recognize this oneness, therefore, without a second, Dvaita is two. Second, duality is there in Dvaita. This is non-dual, without duality. This recognition of oneness is what is the Vedic thought. And Bhagavan Shankara, we saw in the very first class, an incarnate of the divine. Because what he established in a short span of 32 years is not humanly possible. So he advocated this thought. He wrote many commentaries. He expounded this and urged everyone. So we see every verse of this Bhaja Govindam. Beautiful, very lyrical, rhythmic, very soothing, and yet, as it is known as Moha Mudgara, it wakes us up. So we don't like, sometimes there is this uncomfortable feeling it leaves us with, because we begin to recognize that we are in a Vidya right, and we don't like that. But the beauty is, if you have come to recognize that you are in avidya, then only there is a way out. Then we seek this paravidya, that which gives us enlightenment, which illumines us about this beautiful state that we need to seek and arrive at. If this confusion is not there, believe me, we would just go sleeping in deep slumber. We would leave this body again only to be born and never being free from the circle of burden. But having put ourselves to come to recognize this goal, then we are truly putting efforts in the right direction. And if not, no, they say, no, better late than never. So we are at least in the right direction. Moving in the right direction is very important. So let us keep seeking for this knowledge. Let us soak ourselves in this. So we shall just read the 28th and the 29th verses, where these sentiments is again very beautifully established. सुखत क्रियते रामा भोगः पश्चादन्त शरीरे रोगः यद्यपि लोके मरणं शरणं तदपि न मुञ्चति पापाचरणं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दम् गोविन्दं भज मूढमते अर्थमनर्थं भावय नित्यं नास्ति तथा सुखलेशः सत्यम् पुत्रादपि धनभाजां भीतिः सर्वत्रैषा विहितारीतिः भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते. The 28th verse, Bhagavan Shankara says, very easily, for the sake of sukha, sukhatah kriyate, one indulges in what? Bhoga. Bhoga is to experience and enjoy. That comes easily to anybody, to any plant, animal, and the human also. Only the human has this Viveka Buddhi, which he doesn't apply very often. But Sukha comes. Sukha, how is it experienced or known? Through the senses and the mind. Pleasurable. So we are always seeking pleasure. But what we must realize, this bhoga, if we remain as a bhogi, constantly engaging in only sensual pleasure, whatever comes from the senses. I like to eat this a lot. The taste demands, the tongue asks for it, and I give in order. So this way, a bhogi, and continuously he is going on engaging in something that sukham. He ends up as a rogi only most of the time. He is what happens, the mind gets used to all these comforts and conveniences to get what it wants when it demands. Now this is a very difficult situation. Many people say, freedom is when I can do what I want. It is not so. Please pay attention. If the mind demands and you're going to give in to whatever the mind demands, you become a slave to the mind. So little sukham is not available. Small amount of dukkham also, it cannot tolerate. The smallest of challenges today, more and more people are not able to accept in life. They have become intolerant to this. You see how much stress, depression, and in some extreme cases, people committing suicide. Why? Because they couldn't tolerate some things that you say, Arey, this is not a reason why one can commit suicide. But we have become intolerant. Therefore, we are prescribed dhairyam, sahishnutvam, tolerance, dhairyam should be there. Little bit we must manage to bear. Endurance is supposed to be a seeker's inner strength. He must be able to endure sukham, dukkham, pain, pleasure. Whether there is profit or loss, I can withstand it. One must be able to withstand. This is the inner strength. But it doesn't happen to us. And so what happens? Paschadanta shariraya roga. Diseases come to the body very easily. If you don't work out the body and work out the mind in the right direction, disease only comes. Physical as well as psychological. And here Bhagavan says, Yadyapi loke maranam sharan. Even though in the world, the ultimate, that is ultimate guaranteed is death today. There is no other thing that holds guarantee. Even if he knows he is going to die, he doesn't want to give up his sinful papa acharanam. He keeps committing this papa. Papa is moving away from his true self. Keeps committing this. He knows he is going to. Yet he does this. Therefore, another, he says, Artham anartham bhavaya nityam. Whatever this wealth is anartham actually. Do not keep running after it. Because today especially, we think money can buy us everything, which is not true. The simplest of joys of human life, if you ask anybody, you also write for yourself. Where you really find joy. Some of it may be bought by, but most of it cannot be. Think over it. Write what you would really like to do. Most people say, just sitting by myself, having a cup of coffee. I want peace. I want quiet. I want to take a walk by nature. I want to swim for half an hour. I don't find time. I want to talk, whisper sweet nothings into my beloved's ear. I want to hug my friend. I want to meet friends and chit chat. I want to have a get together with my family. See how much joy all these things give us. And yet, what do we say? I don't have time for all of this. Oh, see, and another thing, all of this can be done without money. And what is man involved in? Going on pursuing money, 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 money. Well, when that is there, then I will have a, if I get more money, then I will have that vehicle. In the first place, where these things, what you really wanted for happiness. You sit quietly, everyone says, one Sunday is not enough. So much to do on Sunday. I want a break, I want a break, I want a break. And they have committed themselves to this cycle, unfortunately. So Bhagavan here is saying, he has told us 1,000 years ago. Huh? Nityam bhavaya, keep this in mind, reflect constantly on it. There is no sukha, nasti tata sukha leshaha satyam. This is the truth, that there is no happiness in it. No happiness to be got from external sources. Money can buy you something that is available in the world, which is your field of experience, which is external to you. But your happiness is within you. And the happiness that you get, even with the things that are of the world, is coming from within. So why don't you seek this happiness within you? Why don't you pursue that? Why don't you look for it? Some people say listening to music gives me so much happiness. Does it cost you money? Can you start singing for yourself? And he says, Putradapi dhana bhajam bhitihi. The one who has money, dhana bhajam, he is a rich fellow. You know, he is worried about his own son. Why? Because he has to protect it. There is fear even from his own son or his own family members. He doesn't know when they will go against him. When they are only waiting when he will die. They may even create that situation where he dies so that they can accumulate his. Haven't we read this in the newspapers also? That there are sons who are running after their fathers. The father is left in the street to fend for himself. So, lot of money at home also, one is scared. Is the IT department going to come? Is my property, are my possessions safe? Will my relatives take away something? Will there be robbers all the time? How am I going to maintain it? This worry is constantly there with the rich. This is why he says, this is the way with wealth everywhere. Don't think it happens only in India. Anywhere, this is the fear. You are rich, the wrong kind of people will come to befriend you. You may not be able to tell. You will fall. There are ditches in every step you take. You have to think twice. Because there are people who are after your wealth, but you may think that they are after you for who you are. That is where we can get completely deluded. Therefore, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Bhagavan is saying, this is not, it's a very clear observation about how men live in this world, isn't it? And this only creates sorrow in everyone's. There is only misery in life. There is only suffering. In fact, the more and more comfort you have given the body begins to suffer that disease. So, whatever we think, no, wealth is not welfare. Artham is artham. We have to earn a living. We have to be able to contribute. Therefore, we must look at accumulating so that we live, we sustain ourselves comfortably, and we are able to share whatever rest. This is our idea. This is the sentiment. So even the Rishi Munis say, please, for whoever has the talent and the ability and the capacity to earn money, do earn. Earn. How much do you need? Minimum clothes, a roof over your head, and food that everybody eats. That's the exact food that you must eat. How much wealth would you require to do that? Keep that. The rest must be shared. This way, you contribute to those who do not have the talent or the capacity to earn their money. So, you take care of their minimum needs. This way, everybody lives happily. There is distribution of wealth as well as use of talent and your own potential in whatever everyone is capable of doing. If society begins to act and be this way, isn't it welfare for all, well-being for all? But unfortunately, greed, no, and desire to have more and more and more. What do? We keep accumulating for ourselves, which is unhealthy, and we deprive some other people of even basic happiness. So, how can I be happy in a world when there are so many people unhappy? Today, if I have, a celebration at home, but I know in the neighborhood there is a mourning, there is someone who has died, will I be able to celebrate? What will I do? I will curb on my celebrations. It is so rude, it is so inhuman to be rejoicing when somebody is mourning or suffering, isn't it? So if my neighbor is not well, he is mourning, he is suffering, will I be able to rejoice? I can't. There is rejoicement and happiness only in sharing and contributing to the society and making everybody happy. If everyone is happy, they don't mind you celebrating also, isn't it? But why is one person angry with another celebration? Because he doesn't even have the basic. And someone has much more than what would be required for him in his life. This kind of disparity is not at all healthy for any society. Therefore, as seekers, we must learn and understand. And as we evolve, we create this, evolve the society, and we create this happiness in society. The happiness index is to be built on these lines, not by accumulating and gathering more money. It doesn't come this way. How do I do it? How this wealth and this world, all the beautiful objects and the possessions of this world, and which is advertised constantly and making it more and more attractive and appealing to me, to my senses, the beauty of this world. How do I move away from it? How do I fight it? Because there is a struggle with it. And as I always say, when the masters gave us these ideals, it is not empty philosophy. It is for each one of us to come to recognize, and the method, the direction, the guidelines is given to us. So we read that in the 30th verse. What is Bhagavan Shankara saying? Pranayamam pratyaharam nitya nitya viveka vicharam japya sameta samadhi vidhanam kurvavadhanam mahadavadhanam. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Says Shankara Bhagavan advises the seeker, withdraw the mind from hunting after all this wealth in the outer world, mind and matter. One must withdraw from the joys and sorrows. Bhagavan Krishna throughout the Gita emphasizes how the mind must be controlled. Nirdvandva bhava Arjuna, he says. Nirdvandva is what? These opposites of pain, pleasure, profit, loss, heat, cold, shita, ushna, sukha, dukkha, labha, your success story, your failure stories. Insults are there, apaman is there, man is there, praise is there. These are all opposites in nature. That is what the world is made up of. Withdraw from these experiences. Do not focus, do not run after that. So how will you do this? He says, 5 stages are given here. What you should do, these are antaranga sam. This is for your inner purification. You do pranayama. What is this? Prana is not only breath control. We must understand. Prana is the 5 physiological functions. Pranas are the 5 pranas, isn't it? Which deal with the physiological functions. Breathing is one. And then you have digestion. Whatever food is digested, it is transformed as energy and it has to be sent to every part of the body. Every part of the body requires this energy. No? So digestion is taking that energy from the food that is eaten, throwing away the waste that is not required. There also we need energy, udana prana. Circulation of blood is so all of this physiological functions that happen, it is the energy level. This energy should not be wasted on external things. This energy must be beautifully, there should be no dissipation of this energy. So when you learn pranayam is to be able to control these pranas. Control of life's activities is this pranayam. So when the senses go out and I like that, it falls on a sense object. And now the mind has created a desire to be able to control that sense from the object, to withdraw it. That is definitely beautiful, but let it remain where it is. One doesn't require it right now. This is control. This way the mind has to be controlling the senses. This is why the mind is called the reins of the horses. Horses are the senses which run after the sense objects. But if the horses have to be running in the direction we want, the intellect has to be able to hold the reins, hold the mind to control the senses. This is pranayama. And then what we have to do? These, we say holding and not, when we do not hoard things, when senses are asking, I go to the exhibition and I see, oh, beautiful, the sari is very beautiful, or this flower vase is so beautiful, this wall painting is exclusive, I want to buy it. Not only controlling that, not allowing for hoarding of these things also. One thing is sense withdrawal and control. Both pranayam and pratyahara, both from their respective sense of. We should not be hoarding too many. We should travel like when we travel, when we are going on a trip, no? What do we say? Travel light, so that we are not burdened. This way, we should not burden ourselves with unnecessary things in the mind and not even extra weight in the body. This makes life very light. So don't hoard things also by accumulating things in life, be it in the mind or in the body, in the physical state, in the room space that you stay in. Make it free of things, keep it simple. This will come how? And one must engage in nitya, anitya, vastu, viveka. What is that? We must be able to distinguish, discern between what is more permanent and what is impermanent. What is it that is changing and going to go away anyway? Should I put my energy and thought and efforts into getting that which is anyway going to leave me one day? Or is there something more permanent? This vichar one must do. So, cumulative effect, we must understand this. Then we have to japya sameta with japa. Why? The mind will continue, because it is conditioned this way. So the mind, to control it and to withdraw it from its senses and to make it think. Today, more and more people don't want to think. They don't want to, they say, what a waste of energy to use the brain when apps are available. When people are there who will tell you what is to be done, what is not to be done. So where is the question of nitya vichar? One must. Bhagavan Krishna says, this buddhi is given to everyone. And if we don't use this buddhi, we have lived like, simply existed like every other plant and animal. What is so different about the human? He has this intellect and thinking capacity. Apply this. If we don't use this wealth, we leave this world like a kripana, like a miser, who had wealth all his lifetime, but never ever used it at all. So this buddhi we have, put it in nitya, anitya, viveka vichar. And way to do it is japa. Continuously, one must be taking Bhaja Govindam, japa, nama japa. Why? The mind will go here and there. So to control it, to bring it back, japa is the best. It is said that japa is the best solution in the Kali Yuga. We are in the Kali Yuga right now. So Bhagavan has already prescribed this for us. Let us take up, along with japa, reach the state of samadhi. Along with japa and the practice of reaching japya sameta samadhi vidhanam, the total inner silence. Samadhi is when the intellect has completely rested in the self. Silence is already there with us. In a state where there is no vikalpa. Samat, absolute silence. And you are simply dwelling there without any vikalpa. So, Bhagavan says, perform this kurvavadanam mahadav. Perform this with care, with great care. This way, when you do it, you can truly see what is spoken of in these verses, that running after the external objects of the senses doesn't get you anywhere, leads to only hellish experiences, that's where pain and misery arise. Come to seek this silence, tranquility, peace, and bliss, which is our true nature and available to us within us. So this is the U-turn we must do, and with the control of the BMI, body, mind, and intellect, direct it to our true nature and remain there. Bhagavan says, do it with care, very lovingly, caringly. One must do this. Also, take care that the ego doesn't come in the way, because the ego is not going to go so soon. It will start telling you what a great seeker you are, what a great sadhaka you are, how holy than the others you are, how sacred you are, how intelligent you are. The people will start coming to you for counseling and advice. You will think you have enlightened. Whatever way that is not required. Therefore, lot of care. And happily make the mind and the intellect your own friend. And the last verse, very beautiful. Bhagavan's, as though blessings for such a thing to happen to us in our lives. And advice and faith and devotion also given, told to us by Bhagavan Shankara. Guru Charanambhuj Nirbhara Bhakta Samsarad Chirad Bhava Mukta Sendriya Manasa Niyamadevam Drakshasi Nijaridayastam Devam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Very beautiful. Bhagavan says, no, at the lotus feet of the devotee, of the teacher, oh, you become devoted to that. Guru Charana Ambuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha. You become a great devotee. You are a great devotee of the lotus feet of your teacher. And may you become liberated from samsara through the discipline of the senses and the mind. Samsara, achirat, very soon, from samsara, achirat, bhava muktaha, you become liberated, free. How? By controlling sendriya, saha indriya, manasa, niyama, bringing it under control. And he says, evam, this manner, niyamad evam, drakshyasi, you will see, you will experience, you will know what? Nija hridaya tam devam. Nija hridaya, where? Not outside anywhere. In your own self, you will see that which dwells in your own hridaya, heart. That Lord who dwells in every being. He dwells, he is all pervasive. Dwelling everywhere, Sarva Vyapak. He is in me, in you, in everyone. He is in the plants. He is in the animals. He is in all animate and inanimate things. Pervading in and throughout and outside. That alone is there. That is why Puja Swamiji Dayanandji would say, in our culture, what we say, what the Shastras say, what the Mahatmas say, what the Rishi Munis say, is not that there are many gods, nor that there is only one God, but they say there is only God. This we must be able to come to see. Ishavasya idagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Whatever is known, not known, whatever is there, not there, in our field of experience, whatever is manifest and whatever is unmanifest and beyond is pervaded by that divinity alone. And since it is there everywhere, it is within you, me too. Why should I go outside to seek it? Where should I look for it? And where do I find it? He says, you will find it within you. This is like a blessing. This is like Bhagavan's grace flowing from that time. He has blessed us to such a bhakta, to such a seeker, who, having surrendered at the lotus feet of his Guru, he says, may you become liberated from this samsara, which is nothing but a dwelling place of pain and misery. This samsara has only dukkha. Dukkhalayam it is called. And this samsara one will see coming and going. That is what is the meaning of samsara. Something is coming, something is going, something is there, something is not there. It keeps changing all the time. There is no permanency here. There is only disturbance here. So we cannot seek undisturbed peace, tranquility, and silence there. Joy and happiness come from that state which is changeless, which is silent, which is permanent, which is vast. And that very foundation of all phenomena that is happening, come to see that within yourself. That can happen when the senses and the mind are curbed and controlled, because they are used to, they are habituated to going external. Therefore, there is control required. For the one who has come to recognize, then there is no control, because he thinks, he knows also that everything arises from that self only. So there is nothing to resist, nothing to fight. But until then, because our mind is habituated to go outside and seek for this joy, it looks for permanent happiness in impermanent places. It is misled. So the ones seeking permanent happiness and bliss, peace and joy and happiness all the time, who want to remain in that state, must look for it within themselves. And the effort is to control the senses and mind till they abide in this truth. That's it. And Bhagavan blesses us with this through the discipline of sense and organs. May you experience Nija Hridayastham Devam. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. This very beautiful concluding words of the Bhaja Govindam. With this, we conclude the text with Bhagavan Shankara's grace and blessings, with the entire Guru Parampara's blessings. We are able to listen to these texts. Let us consider ourselves to be privileged enough to hear these, Definitely, it is because of certain punya karma phala. This is because of our merits, punya karma that we have done in the past that has fructified, that such knowledge, such verses come to our ears. There are many people, even though this is being spoken of, do not pay attention to these verses because there is a time. This is something we earn. This is paravidya that we have getting, So the years, the mind gets purified with this. It's a blessing and grace by the Guru alone, the Guru Tattvam, that this can happen. So let us consider ourselves blessed. Let us strive to walk on this path, the path of spiritual, with this knowledge, with enough devotion and faith, and with the conviction that we will see the truth that is spoken of in the Shastras, the truth that the masters speak of. So I have had a wonderful time sharing this text, thinking aloud about the verses. I'm happy that you all care to join me in this journey. Let these verses be ever sung and be meditated, reflected upon. Bhagwan's blessings be upon all of us. We conclude with this session. This is being recorded and will be posted to all of you. Any doubts, any questions regarding this text or about whatever we have discussed till now, you may write to me anytime or write on the foundation number that is there in the book. We shall conclude the Bhaja Govindam session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.